Please don't keep us a secret. Tell everyone about Vosita Telemedicine. Social distancing friendly and virtually free. Vosita Telemedicine. Give Vosita a try.
All right, let's get started. Well, thank you so much for joining us. My name is Robert Gabriel. I'm going to be your host today. It's just a couple housekeeping items. We are recording this session. It will be made public. I do have a couple of people are helping me today. Amir Gadalla, RCM General Manager, Nisma Abdelaziz, she's the RCM team leader, and as well as Abraham Lasindon. He's a certified coder at MicroEyes. I do have a special guest with us, but just a disclaimer, anything you learn in this seminar, MicroEyes or Vosita cannot be held responsible. You need to verify the data yourself or the information yourself. MicroEyes cannot be responsible for the health of your patient, or your revenue, or your data. Okay, so the agenda today is we're going to talk about the news feature on Vosita. We're going to talk about any updates on the telehealth. We're going to talk about best practices to receive online payment. We do have a special guest for that. And we're going to talk about any updates that I have for telemedicine coding or billing. And of course, we have a Q&A session. So first, I want to talk about Rosetta Features. So Rosetta is, I created Rosetta. I've been working on it for over 2 years. Then I kind of rushed it to help you guys with the telemedicine. But Rosetta actually does a lot more than telemedicine. So those are some of the features that what Rosetta does. So Rosetta was designed to find you new patients. So if you're looking for a new patient, Rosetta will find you new patients. And I'm going to show you how that works. If you haven't seen it yet, patient can book an office visit or online appointment. After they book an appointment, if they didn't use the app, they will be able to get a confirmation by either text, email, or a phone call, and a provider will get to choose which methods they wanted to alert the patient about their upcoming appointment. If they use the mobile app, it's actually easier because the confirmation will come on the mobile app and it will go into their calendar. If you're using the reminders with a caller, you will be able to customize your caller ID to match your office. So when a patient receives the call, they know it's your doctor's office. They don't think it's a robocall. Also, it does the telemedicine one click to invite the patient. So this is a new feature we added. I showed that last week. We added new features this week, and I'll show you that. No more physician has to share their own cell phone numbers. So you don't want to do that because now you're confusing the patient. They might start calling you on your cell phone number, not calling the office anymore. So what Vosita doesn't reveal your phone number as a cell phone for the provider, which is, I know a lot of you are doing FaceTime now and you have to reveal your phone number. So what Vosita does is connect you with the patient without having to reveal your own phone number. Of course, we have a mobile app for the Android and the iOS, Apple, iPhone and iPad. Also, by having a profile on Vosita, it will boost your search engine, helping you with your website. If you have a website, you can link your profile from Vosita on your website, create a network of physicians. So the purpose behind this is doctors are struggling with referring to each other because once a doctor gets acquired by a hospital or a large group, you're forced to refer from your own group, and you're not allowed to refer to another provider outside the group. So what I'm helping here is I'm helping you to create your own group without being acquired, without being a part of a hospital, and kind of refer business to each other. And build that network. And all of this is free. It will be free until March 1st, 2021. After March 2021, it will be at a very minimal, small fee. It's not expensive at all. Now let's talk about some of the features that Rosetta has. So I'm on the beta testing here. This is not the live site. So this is my developer site. So whatever features I'm going to show you, new features I'm going to show you today, you're not going to find this on the application that you're using if you're using Vosita already, because we're still in testing. So when you go to regular Vosita, you're not going to see some of those features. You will see them hopefully by the end of next week. If you're new to this, you haven't seen this before, let me just show you what Vosita helps you with. So first, the patient comes to the site through the computer or through the mobile app. They want to look for a provider. So they can look by specialty. And I do have a shortcut here for the most common specialty. And this icon will change based on how many I'm getting sign up from each specialty. So they can pick from here. They can pick a zip code, or they can pick an insurance plan, what insurance and what plan. Then they will hit search. I'm not filtering for anything. Before they hit search, the patient will say, do you want a virtual visit or you want an actual office visit? Hopefully when we all go back to normal office hours, patient will be picking between a virtual visit or an office visit. So once they hit search, they will see all the providers that's offering. So anything blue here, that's a provider is offering a telemedicine. This is my demo profile. So I'm going to pick, let's say at 2:15 as a patient. I'm going to log in as a patient, or I can, if I don't have a login, I'm going to create a new profile by hitting new patient. I'm going to log in here as a patient. It already knows what insurance I have, already has my insurance card, and I'm an existing patient with this provider. And I'm picking what's the reason that I want to see this doctor today. I'm doing a follow-up, and I can type in whatever message I want to type to the practice. Once I hit book, it's going to book me. And now those are my appointments, my profile. So it shows me all my upcoming appointment as a patient. If I have a previous appointment, I will see them here in previous. I can also put a feedback for the provider. I can rate the provider so you can measure good you're doing with your patient. And if there's something wrong, you can quickly address it. So that's what Vosita, some of the Vosita does on the patient side. I'm going to now, when it's time for the visit, the patient will be hitting join. Doctor will be on the other side and connect together with the regular telemedicine visit. If this is an office visit, you're not going to see the join because it's just a reminder that you need to go to the office. I'm going to log in here out as a patient. I'm going to log in as a provider. I'm going to show you some of the new features. So I'm logging in with my demo provider. Now, here's what we added new. If you're already using Vosita, I can pick, if I want to archive those messages or those appointments, I can just pick multiple ones, then just mark them done. Or I can filter up here by I want to see only the appointments for today. And I can filter appointment for this week, or I can filter for appointment for this month, or I can select a range where I get to choose a range. I'm just going to go back to today's date. If the patient is ready for me, I will hit start. No more that technology screen is going to show you the speed. It's going to start with the camera right away, and you're ready to see the patient. And the same thing on the patient side. I think that technology screen was confusing some people, so we got rid of that. So let me go back to my main. Think of this as a virtual waiting room. Now, I can invite a patient. Let's say you have a patient on the phone that wants to get a telemedicine visit, but not savvy enough to make their own appointment or to use an app or anything like that. So you can click on virtual walk-in and you can invite. So now I showed you this last week, and I can just type in the number here and I can invite the patient. Also, we're working on another feature where you can look up existing patient from your database. So you will be able to pick a patient from the database. If you already have that patient before, and that patient now, you can create a visit on the spot without having to worry about the patient making their own appointment. The other feature that we created is I'm getting a lot of requests where it says, maybe I already scheduled this patient in my office. I don't want the patient to create another appointment. I just want to enter that appointment myself. Of course, in the near future, I'm going to integrate the software with Vosita. So when you create an appointment in your own software, whatever it is, if it's Medisoft Lytec, it will go into Vosita. But for now, is if you want to create an appointment on the behalf of the patient, you can click here and direct scheduling. Now you can pick who the patient invitation is, Robert Gabriel. If you want to send the invitation by phone or by email, when is the date of the appointment? Let's say I want to see them today and I want to see them today at 4 o'clock, and you just hit the invite, and depending if you're sending the invite by phone or by email, then the patient will get that. So the patient will click on that. So that's a future appointment, or that patient, once they click on it, they will be waiting in the waiting room for you here. So if I'm looking at today's appointment, so that patient will be waiting here. Then when you get to them, you can start. Or if you have somebody on the phone that wants to see the doctor, you can invite them just like that. So hopefully those are going to help you. Patient can schedule their own. You can invite on the spot, or you can schedule in the future for the patient. So hopefully that addresses all the requests that I've been getting. Again, some of those features you're not going to see in the live site yet. We're testing over the weekend and probably the first few days of next week. Then you should have them ready by midweek or end of week next week.
I had a quick question. I'm
Sure.
just curious why pulmonologist isn't one of the regular ones considering COVID. Just not one you put up?
You talk about an icon?
Yeah.
Great question. So it all depends on, let me see how many pulmonologists I have. Okay, so I technically, I only have 3 doctors as pulmonologists. Now, depending, because this doctor has multiple locations, depending on how many providers are signing up, I'm creating the icons. So the icon is going to be based on so it looks like you're not signed up yet. I'm sorry?
No, we didn't sign up yet. We're learning about it now.
So now if you want to be, you see this icon here?
Yes.
Okay, so this one, I'm making it as a specialty. So if you want to join that, you can add it as a specialty. So let me show you what I mean by that. So when you sign up as a provider, so let me log in with my provider. When I go to my profile as a provider, so over here, you're going to have specialties.
Right there.
Yeah, right here. So you can add whatever specialties you want. So if you want to be listed in the COVID-19, you can just click it as a special, and you will, when somebody click on that, and but the only thing, the people that join that, they get in a lot of calls from out of state. If you're willing to take patient from out of states, which is, I think it's allowed, then go ahead and join that, but prepare that you will be getting a lot of calls from patients across the states, because some states don't have enough coverage.
He's got enough because he worked the COVID ICU for a long time. So we've got enough just with what we have.
Okay, so you're busy enough. Yeah. Once I have more providers, then those icons is going to change based on how many in each specialty.
Sign up.
Yep.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Yes.
I have a question.
Sure.
As you know, I've been using the Vosita. You have used this virtual check-in. This virtual check-in, I'm not really sure why, or if we are doing something wrong, or if 2 times I was talking with the patient and suddenly the call just dropped. It just said call ended by provider, and I didn't actually end it, so I'm not really sure what happened. It just ended. Called the patient on the phone and told, like, why don't you click on the link and try to sign back in?
For security reason, the link expires. So I didn't make it where the patient can click on the link, and because that opens a security can of worms. So you would have to send another link to the patient.
Oh, okay. Because he clicked on the link and said, yeah, I am. But he told me it's saying, I am already in, waiting for provider to join, or you welcome to waiting for provider. And from my end, I clicked trying to call, but it's showing welcome to your consultation room. Patient will join you. So it was, he's reading that I will join him soon, and I will join, so.
Yeah, I haven't, that's the first time I hear that, but I will do some testing on it. But if the appointments are scheduled, you can start it as many times as you want. You don't need to send another link until you mark it done. This is a new feature, so I will double check to see if you get disconnected. Most likely you have to send another link, because that link, to be HIPAA compliant, that link expires.
Okay. Just wanted to check.
This is Wendell Murphy. Can you hear me?
Yes.
The links that you have to Medisoft, making appointments and all that, is there some way to, I don't know, even put it to paper, I guess, if I can't put it directly into my practice management system? That's number one. Number two, I I thank your staff for inviting me to this meeting. I've been to a couple of meetings at your New Jersey location in South Jersey more like 10, 15 plus years ago. And I used them recently to do something with MediNotes in order to get access to it on Windows 10. So I'd like to know what I see on your program. I saw half of it last week, and I'm liking what I see now. And I like that you give a person a trial for a year. I certainly would like to know what that price was going to be at the end of the year, because I'm a solo practitioner.
Okay.
I'm an ophthalmologist.
Yeah, so to create a profile, just a profile with appointments on that's going to be free. You know, let me just take an OBGYN here, for example. This account is free, is going to be free. Let me just, I do have an ophthalmologist here. Those accounts are going to be for free. You can list appointment here for office visit. So it has to be an office, that's going to be free. So this is the draft for the pricing starting March 2021. So they're always going to be free account. So the silver account allowed you to have patient find you online. You can post your available appointments, and patient can find you and book appointment for you. That's going to be free. Then they're going to be a gold for $29. That's going to interface with your practice management software like Medisoft and Lite, Greenway, Aprima, and many other names. The gold level will also include the appointment reminder via text, email, or voice. Then after March 2021, telemedicine is going to need to be under platinum, which is only $49 per month for unlimited visits. Then we're going to have a sponsor type of account, which includes all of the above. There will not be a fee for finding new patients. So I know some services like Vosita, they are charging for finding a new patient for you. They're charging up to $40 per patient. So that's, if a patient finds you through Rosetta, that's always going to be free. If you happen to have MicroWise RCM account, like MicroWise is doing the billing service for you, then the platinum level will be at no charge. So the paid level will start at $29, but they're going to be the silver for free.
Is that $29 per month? Is that it?
$29 per month per provider. One of probably our closest competitor to what we're doing here is ZocDoc. ZocDoc's charging $300 a month and don't even give you telemedicine. Telemedicine is additional, and they want to also charge you $40 for every new patient they give you. So I'm not charging for the new patient. The telemedicine is included, and you can create your own network with other providers. So hopefully that will help you each other guys to not to get acquired by hospitals and larger groups, because my business is in the small providers. If you get acquired by a hospital, I'm out of business. I'm doing whatever it takes to keep you guys in privately and don't have to consider being bought out.
Now you do offer this service around the country. Is it from the map? It looks like it's around the country, or just is it primarily the Northeast?
It's only in the United States. It's all over the United States.
All over.
So if you click on the map, this is all the ones that signed up already.
I see.
Okay, and of course, with your help, spread the words around, and I want to make this program is the most useful program for all providers.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. When you go to Vosita, at the bottom of the site is I do have training here, so you can click on it and you can watch this. And I will be adding more videos. And most of those videos are anywhere between 3 to 5 minutes, so they're not a lot. Today, we're going to talk about one of the challenges, of course, is getting paid. Depending on which software you have, which method you're going to be doing. So, and I want to hear from you what is working for you now. So if you're using Bill Flash with Medisoft or Lytec now, or even Greenway, you can create a charge and you can send it to the patient to pay it. But what happens if you don't have Medisoft or Lytec or Greenway, or you don't have Bill Flash? I do actually have a new partner with us. So Michael Gottloff is going to, he's from ERJ Solutions. They're our independent merchant service, and he's going to show us today how to send a link to a patient to pay online and how to take credit card online. Because while we're socially distancing, we want to solve that problem.
So Robert, thank you again for allowing me to participate. It's really a pleasure to join everybody. Just to give you a quick, brief introduction on who I am. My company, ERJ Solutions, focus is really on one thing, and that's just to allow my clients to get paid easier, quicker, faster. My company really is independent of Vosita at this point. And what I'm going to show you now is a software or really a solution called Bill and Pay. What Bill and Pay does is Bill and Pay allows any business owner to use an online gateway in order to collect payments. All of the data, all of the information from the client is stored on the Bill and Pay gateway. And this is important because today, where a lot of people are working remotely, a lot of people are working off of their own Wi-Fi or from their own servers, the last thing you want to do, especially as a medical practice, is start storing information, sensitive information on your own servers. So through Bill and Pay, you can pay, or you can allow your clients to pay with a credit card, they can pay with an e-check, ACH, and it's all done online. So what you would be doing is you would be entering some specific information, which I'm going to show you, and then you can send a link via email to your patient, to your client, and you're then able to manage those payments and even allow your clients the ability to manage how they want to pay as well. Now, one of the things that Bill and Pay has done as a result of what's been going on with COVID-19 and Corona is they're waiving all of their transaction fees for the next 90 days. Now, this promotion had started back in April, but it's going to continue to go for another 90 days. So really through the end of July 2020 at this point, where there's zero setup fee, there's zero monthly fee, and there's zero transaction fees from Bill and Pay. The only thing that you're going to be paying are credit card processing fees, which we can discuss at a different time, but that would be the only fees that it would cost you to use Bill and Pay. So just to quickly go through some of the bullet points, you can speed up and streamline your cash flow. You can allow multiple users within your office to manage the accounts receivable, and they can do it from wherever they have a secure location. You can actually integrate with QuickBooks and independent software. And the idea is really to get you up and running as quickly as possible. So a lot of our clients, once they sign up, within 24, sometimes 48 hours, they're able to start accepting payments. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you what the screen looks like. So this company, Infintech LLC, this is a demo company that we use in order to demonstrate what Bill and Pay looks like. But this is what your home screen would look like after you get in touch with me, after we set up your account. And you're going to have all these buttons here that we're going to work through to show you. For now, what I want to show you is what it looks like to create an invoice. So if we go to create invoice, and we're going to search for a customer, and really, maybe we should actually just go to customers first. You have the ability, if you have a list of your patients, if you just have their name, if you have their email address, you can actually import them into Bill and Pay by putting it into a CVV or an Excel spreadsheet, and then you can import your client list. And we can walk you through what you need to do in order to do that. But as it says here, every line, every row is a single column, and we work with you as far as what information you want to share. In order to create an invoice, all you need is a name and an email address. That's all that you need. So if we go to create invoice, and I'm going to use my last name because I had a test account here, we see that I've already, my name, Michael Gutlove, is already in the system. And we see that I can now, just clicking on the name, I can now create an invoice. So here we have the name. I could put the address if I want to, but I don't need it. The invoice number is automatically generated. Today's date is when the date is being sent out, but I can change the terms if I want to. I can change the due date. And now I can just describe exactly what it is that I'm billing. So if I just say we're going to do one, and let's just say it's Vosita, and we're going to write in the description, telemedicine, and we're going to put in, let's just say $50, for example. So now what I can do is I have a few actions on the bottom that I can do. Let's say, for example, I want to see what this is going to look like. So I click preview. So this is going to be what the PDF is going to look like on the patient side. Okay, so let's say, and this is, again, this is customizable. So let's go back to return to editing invoice. So we're going to send this invoice, save and send. Now you see that there are two invoices that have been created, and we see that the two emails, the two invoices are still open. I'm now going to go to my Gmail account. So here you see, so this is what the email looks like on the patient side. Invoice from Infintech LLC has been created. This is the invoice number for $100. And here is the secure link that I, as the patient, can now click on if I want to make a payment. And again, we're customizing the bottom. You could put an email address on the bottom if you wanted, as well as a phone number for people to call if they have any questions. But ultimately, what you want people to do is open this email. You want them to click here to make a payment. And if you notice, we're on the bill and pay server. Now, we can also put your logo if we want it over here. So this way you can actually have the look and feel of your practice. But the important point is, being that it's on the bill and pay server, there's no sensitive information that's being stored on your servers. And that's important for PCI compliance issues. $100 is what we have to pay. This is that old invoice from before. We're going to click continue. And now we see that the patient, we're agreeing to pay $100. Maybe I want to change that amount. And if I do, I, as the patient, would click on this. And again, you're going to determine what permissions you're going to allow your patients to have. Maybe you don't want them changing the amount. Maybe you just want them to pay what is you're invoicing. In that case, we can remove this. You have the two options of ACH, pay with a checking card, or if you want them to pay with a credit card. So let's just click credit card for now. We'll click continue. And at this point, we come into the payment screen. So in this case, the patient, I'm the patient, I'm going to make the payment today. I can actually schedule in the future if I wanted to do that. Again, these are permissions that you're allowing your clients to do, but they need to put in their information over here, the name on the card, card number, everything that they would do as if they were just making a regular e-commerce transaction, and they would click continue. Now, I'm not going to actually process the transaction here because, again, it's going to fail, being that it's in the demo mode. The open invoices, we see that we have the two transactions. Once they're paid, then they're taken off of this screen. So we now have the two open invoices, the one that I just showed you, the one that I created earlier. But there are additional services or different features you can do once you're uploading these invoices into bill and pay.
How about if the patient wants to pay over the phone? Is there a way I can take the credit card over the phone and process it?
Definitely. You go on to customers. First, you'd want to pull up who the customer is. So we do this right over here. Search. You click on the customer. If we're going to create an invoice, if we're going to accept payments, actually, so we're going to click right over here. We accept payment and you're not going to send out an invoice, then you would go to the virtual terminal, which I don't have up here to show just yet. But if there's an invoice already created, then yes, they could process the payments. Again, if they just want to click on cash or check, or even with an electronic payment, they could click right here.
Very good. Well, thank you, Mike. Let me share my screen back. Speaking of workflow, another thing I wanted to show you, once you create your profile, if you haven't done that yet, or you can link your profile. This link here, if you take this link and link it to a button on your website, when a patient goes to your website and click, when you can say whatever you want, to book a visit or something, then it will take you to the Vosita page, and it shows you availability, and the patient can just pick which availability they want and either create a new profile or log in if they already have an existing. That's the way I recommend you that you should do it. Vosita can help you get new patients, or for existing patient can help you if they come through your website or they're already existing for your practice. You want to bring them directly to your profile and book the appointment. Amir, Nisman, Abraham, you guys want to give us an update on coding and billing?
Hello, everybody. This is Nasma. I'm the RCM team leader at Microwise. I hope everyone is staying safe. Today, we'll be talking about the telehealth services. As a reminder, and since most of you guys did not get any payments yet from insurance companies, so it's like whether you did not start doing it yet, or you're not like maybe doing it correctly, so that's why you did not receive any payments yet. So just to highlight on the telehealth services one more time, so it actually needs to be done through audio and video. Those kind of services, they will replace the in-person E&M visits. Just to identify that was a telehealth visit and it was not in person, so we need to use modifier 95 along with the codes that we will be using. It could be done for no patients or established patients. Type of E&M codes that could be done, we could do like office visits, hospital observation, emergency department visits. and we can actually do a couple of like A&M visits like the ones at the nursing facility. When it comes to that, we do have like the range of codes for the office visits is from 99201 till 99215, depending on the time that the provider would spend talking to the patient. There's actually no restrictions on the location of the patient, nor restrictions on the location of the provider. So we would be getting many questions on what to use as a place of service and what modifier that we need to use. So we got like a copy of a CMS 1500 form. Shows normally that we will put first the date of service. Place of service would actually be like the regular place of service where you would normally see the patient, like office, hospital, nursing facility. We're going to put the procedure code 99213, 99214, 99215, or the codes for a nursing facility depending on the time or the type of the service that the provider provided to the patient. We will add modifier 95 to indicate that that was a telehealth services. As well, if the visit was related to a COVID-19 case or the result of the visit was that the patient was diagnosed with COVID-19 or he has symptoms. So the providers would use an additional code, which is CS, which is the cost sharing modifier. The reason for the use of the CS modifier, Medicare or like other private insurance companies would cover the part that should be the patient's responsibility. As you can see for in box 32 of the CMS 1500, the service facility location, we would actually use the normal location that you will normally be seeing the patient at. Let's say that you see the patient in your office, so you're going to use the location as your office. However, you don't need to be in your office. You could be at home, like you could be on like another home, so not necessarily that you need to be in the office. And the rest of the information would all be the same on the same as 1500 form. So the only thing that would change is the modifier than what you normally bill with. The reason that Medicare and insurance companies, they stopped using like the place of service 02 and they are now allowing the provider to use the regular place of services is to give more reimbursement for the services to the providers. One more thing that we actually like been asked about before is what to document in the medical records and what to put and how we will indicate if that was like a telehealth visit or not. So we do have like here a sample of a telehealth documentation template just to make sure that we or the provider document the time of the visit. Like let's say it was like for 20 minutes, for 30 minutes, for 40 minutes, just document that in the medical records because it would show or it would actually be the proof that why the provider is using this certain code. And just make sure that you document your best of your ability as if the patient were in the office. As you can see here, it's put as the patient name, patient age, the diagnosis and the date of birth and the medical records number of the patient. And then there would be the history of present illness. You need to document that this visit was conducted with the use of an interactive audio and video telecommunication system, that the patient actually gave his or her approval or consent that the visit was done through a virtual visit, and of course put the date. Then you're just going to go ahead and document everything as if the patient was seen in the office. Please let me know if you have any questions about that part. Thank you all.
Thank you, Nesma.
Nesma, just on the Blue Cross website, and I actually our Maryland physicians meet, you know, we have a weekly meeting and they, which I just had one at 1 o'clock today, a tele meeting. And the person from Blue Cross did say that they were asking to put point of service as 02 and 95 modifier. Is that only for Blue Cross, or you're saying, I guess across the board, it's 11 and 95?
Okay, the information that we will be providing, most of it will be coming from cms.gov. So we get all of our information from Medicare guidelines and rules. Some of the insurance companies would actually follow exactly what Medicare would say about like the regulations and the rules, but some others would actually indicate that they would like things to be done differently or they would like the billing to be different. So if Blue Cross and Blue Shield stated on their website or maybe in a meeting or a webinar that you need to use a place of service as 02 and a modifier 95, So that's what you will need to follow because they are not following Medicare, but they're having their own rules.
Okay.
And Asha, let me ask you a question. I'm sorry to interrupt. Is that we're asking this for telehealth for like audio and video visits?
Yes, just
Okay.
for telehealth, because for just telephone, I think they have only approved 441 or something like that, which is a $20 flat fee or something. They did have that on their website too.
Yeah, well, I hope by having the tools that I'm giving you, nobody's just doing a phone calls. Everybody's doing a full telehealth visit and get the highest amount possible.
And Asha, what is your specialty, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm a rheumatologist, but this webinar was open for all. It was a general Maryland physician platform regarding the COVID and the COVID coding and everything else. So it was open for everybody, not
So,
it was a conference.
So they said don't use 11, use O2.
Yes, for Care First, Blue Cross Blue Shield, O2 and 95 modifier.
Abraham, can you search that payer for us, please?
I did. I'm looking at the information right now for Care First, and what Asha is saying is absolutely correct. For a specific procedure codes, they're allowed to use modifier 95 or GT with a place of service 02, and this is an existing policy, not a temporary policy.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no exception for the emergency time for Care First?
No.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So somehow you got paid for the 11 anyway, somehow, even if you didn't, you put it as 11.
Yeah, that's what is kind of strange for me. That's what I need to research now, because we've been using place of service 11 with a modifier 95. We've been getting paid normally for Blue Cross and Blue Shield patients and providers. I'm looking at what you're talking about right now on Care First. I have the document in front of me right now, and it is actually saying otherwise. So I need to really investigate this a little bit further.
And I'm almost positive that they're not going to pay you the full visit with an O2 place of service. It's going to be lower, like the normal outside of the emergency time telemedicine visit.
Well, and unfortunately, that's what he told us to bill on during the teleconference that I just had. So I'm not.
And nobody asked him about the fees. Is it the same fee or going to be lower?
No, he said as long as it's audio, video, and it's O2 and 95, you would be paid the same as your contract.
All right, then that's even better. So you know what? With this particular payer, you will do O2 with 95 modifier, and I'm assuming during the emergency time they're going to pay you full, and after the emergency time they're going to go to the normal fee schedule for telemedicine visits.
I agree.
So that's okay.
And I remember in our very first webinars when we first started to explain everything about telemedicine, we said that there are some payers that they don't follow Medicare guidelines when it comes to how they want their claims to be processed and how they want their claims to be submitted. Some insurance companies would ask you to put a place of service as 02. Some others would tell you follow Medicare guidelines of putting as 11 or whatever place of service that you're currently using for your practice.
Amir, do you have any experience with Johns Hopkins? Because I know apparently my office said they sent a claim to Johns Hopkins Insurance and it came back denied or whatever. So I wasn't sure because I think we put it as O2 and...
We do have experience for sure with Johns Hopkins, but I haven't seen one yet for telehealth.
Oh, okay.
But I can investigate it for you.
This is Dr. Admani. For the occasional person who has only a landline or is not savvy enough, doesn't have a smartphone, and it's only a phone call, do you need to append the 95 modifier to the 99441 or 2 or 3? And you're billing only a phone call 99441. Do you need to append the 95 modifier?
No, there's no need to use a modifier with the non-telehealth codes like the phone calls, the e-visits, or the virtual check-ins, because they are codes on its own that actually the description for it, it shows that it's a telemedicine or a telehealth. So there's no need to use modifier 95 to indicate that it was done as a telehealth. So you don't need to use any modifiers.
And maybe to Amir or Robert, I read yesterday actually a news report from CMS, from Seema Verma, the CMS head, that they are actually may pay even may pay an audio visit code, even if it was just an audio. They may relax this, and you can bill actually the visit, the 99201, even if it was only over the phone. Are you aware of the
Yes, Dr. Mani, we're aware of that. There isn't something that is yet confirmed when it comes to this point. There are a lot of sayings when it comes to this point. Some would say that if you're able to provide the same level of service that you would normally provide for an audio and video visit versus only audio, and you are able to provide it only via audio, then yes, you can bill it. Some others would say if you are a provider that you're attempting to call the patient on audio and video, but the patient doesn't have a video capability, or you tried to contact them via video, but it did not go through, then at this point, you still can. So to answer your question, there isn't something that is really confirmed when it comes to this point. We're hearing different things from here and there, and once we have something that is confirmed, we're definitely going to update our respective providers on that.
Thank you.
If you think of another question after we're done, you're welcome to email me. This is my email address, or you can call me. I'll hopefully see you next week.
Quick question.
Yes.
Wendell Murphy here. Again, I'm the sort of the outsider here. I need more information. I went to your website after last meeting, but I wondered if I can maybe call Amir or somebody else that I can get some more information as to see how I can participate with this if I choose
to. So when you go to Vosita, is you click on login or register and register as a provider, and just enter your information here, and we'll approve your profile, and you can either do the self-training or we can do one-on-one training. It's all free. Either training you pick.
Will do.
Okay.
Thanks.
Right. Thank you so much.
Can I ask a question?
Sure, of course.
My name is Kashmira, and I wanted to ask Nazma whether we can do the physical over the phone and video, audio and video. The physical, like 99396 and all that.
So far, the updates that we're getting from Medicare that it's actually not allowed yet. What is allowed is like the codes for e-visits and virtual check-ins.
Thank you.
You are.
Well, hopefully to see you again. I'll work the video, and what I've been doing is, just in case if you haven't seen it yet, when you go to MicroEyes, when you click on events, so you should see the event here. And what I'm doing is I'm listing all the recording one after the other. So if you missed one of those meetings and you want to watch it, where we talked more detail about coding, you can watch it. And each one has its different agenda, and I will be adding this recording to that list and create the next invitation. So hopefully see you next Friday. Pass the word around. Please use Vosita. It's here to help you. And thank you so much for your time and your business, and have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe.
Please don't keep us a secret. Tell everyone about Vosetta Telemedicine. Social distancing friendly and virtually free. Vosetta Telemedicine. Give Vosetta a try.